Right guys, what is going on? BusterBarnes here, bringing you my match review slash recap of Chelsea's 4-0 win away at Krasnodar in our second game in the Champions League. A bit of a slow start in the game, but we did come out on top with quite the convincing scoreline. I'm going to be getting into the team that played, plus all the key moments in the match. I'll be giving you guys my player ratings, and as always be tallying up some scores at the end to give you my player of the season point scoring system. If you guys do enjoy, please be sure to leave a like, comment down below what you guys thought of the game and your player ratings as well, as I would love to know, and also be sure to subscribe for more Chelsea FC content. I did say yesterday I'd have my episode of my West Ham career mode up. That unfortunately could not happen, but don't worry guys, that will be up later today. That is a promise and a guarantee, and I'll also be uploading an episode on each day of the weekend as well for you guys who've maybe been missing that series a little bit. So that's just a little update there for me before we do get into this game. But we did actually line up with a 4-2-3-1. What I predicted, and quite a few names I predicted as well. We did see the pivot of Kovacic and Jorginho. We did see Antonio Rudiger start as well, with Azpilicueta at right back, Reece James getting the rest. A few things that we did not see though. We did not see Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham. We actually saw Timo Werner and Callum Hudson-Odoi, which is completely fine by me. Would have maybe liked to have seen Tammy start, but Werner was fine as well. So nice to see him getting a goal as well, which we'll talk about later. I really love the fact that Callum Hudson-Odoi got a start as well, so I was really happy when I saw his name on the team sheet, when he doesn't really get the most chances at the moment, so fair play from him. When the game started off, it was actually quite a slow start from us and a little bit shaky. Krasnodar were actually the better side for probably the first 20 minutes of the match, firing balls forward over towards our defence, and Rudiger, it's his first proper professional game for Chelsea, so maybe they were trying to test our defence a little bit more. A few shaky moments, Mendy forced to make a couple of saves, nothing spectacular, but still saves that did help us out in the match. And we were sort of struggling to just get the ball forward to our attackers, find that link up between the defence and the attack. We did actually break through and get a penalty in the first half, but Jorginho actually missed it. He sent the keeper the wrong way like he usually does, all that well, but he did hit the post, and then I believe the ball bounced off the goalkeeper's back, so a bit unfortunate for him. A lot of talk about whether he should be our penalty taker anymore. It's an interesting one, guys. Like, I wouldn't mind if Werner or someone else was our main penalty taker. Like, that doesn't bother me. However, I do find it weird how now Jorginho has missed a second penalty of the season. Everyone's asking for him to get off them. I mean, he's a great penalty taker, guys, and he barely misses his penalties ever, so I don't know, to me it just seems like a fact of people were almost waiting for him to miss a penalty because people want to see our striker take it, which I guess is kind of fair enough, but also I'm not going to complain either way whether Jorginho takes our penalties or not. I guess it doesn't do him much favours when he has that technique where if he doesn't score it does look a bit silly, but I mean, at the end of the day, he scores the majority of his penalties, the vast majority of them. So if he is going to continue to be our penalty taker, that's fine by me. But he did miss this one. But we did manage to get the opening goal in the first half. The half did end 1-0 when Callum Hudson-Odoi, a pass from Kai Havertz, Hudson-Odoi shoots across goal, and it's an absolute screamer, guys. Buried. The keeper could not do anything about it. Obviously, I am kidding. Not the best of shots, it was straight at the keeper, but the keeper of Krasnodar did not have the best game, and yeah, pretty much went downhill from him. Basically just not getting a strong enough touch on the ball, and it ended up in the back of the net. Really nice though to see Callum Hudson-Odoi score. You might say it wasn't the best of goals, either way it counts, his name is on the score sheet, and really nice that now he's been played, he actually gets us a goal. So hopefully that can give him some form. Hopefully he's okay as well, as he did come off later, and they did wrap his leg up in some tape, but I do think that he is okay. So yeah, really nice to see him get a goal. An assist for Kai Havertz as well, those two linking up for the second time actually, when Callum Hudson-Odoi also scored against West Brom earlier in the season. But that's how the first half ended. Nothing too great. That was really the only sort of chance that we had, to be honest. And yeah, I thought it was just going to be a boring second half, and it probably was for the start, but then when substitutes started rolling in, it did get a little bit better, and we did eventually win another penalty when Christian Pulisic, who did get subbed on, crossed the ball. It hits the Krasnodar defender's arm, and it did end up becoming a penalty, which Jorginho was off the pitch, so he did see Werner take the penalty, and he buried it, a lot of power into the back of the net. Maybe not the most precise penalty, it wasn't actually that far away from the keeper, but the power on it was enough to bring it past the Krasnodar goalkeeper, and Timo Werner did get a goal. His first goal in the Champions League for Chelsea, his his fourth of the season, I should say, forgetting that goal he scored against Spurs in the Carabao Cup. But when the subs came on, the game really picked up a tempo. We actually changed the formation as well. We saw us go from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-3-3 with Kante in that deep lying role with Mount and Havertz either side. What an exciting midfield that is. That's a midfield that I think a lot of us thought we'd be seeing more of this season, and maybe we will see that more as the season goes on. Lampard's just probably trying to secure our defence more so. But that was a really, really good move by Lampard to help us just overpower that Krasnodar defence. And it wasn't too long either before, I believe it was Hakim Ziyech getting a goal as well, dribbling through into the box, shooting across goal and burying it in the bottom corner from him. Really nice for him to get a goal on his, proper professional debut start for Chelsea. He was very good in the game. So a lot of people said he was man of the match, and I wouldn't say that I noticed him loads, but I mean, to be fair, it is obviously his first proper professional start back, so I guess it is fair enough when you'd probably expect him to be quite rusty. And also, I believe they actually said that his first competitive start was his last competitive start was actually all the way back in March for Ajax, so a real long time without him starting a professional football game. So fair play to him, he did do very well, and he did manage to get a goal for his efforts. I believe it was actually assisted by Timo Werner as well. And the final goal, Tammy Abraham down the wing, really just overpowers the Krasnodar defence, crosses it into Pulisic, who does shoot, hit it through the goalkeeper's legs. Like I said, the goalkeeper didn't have the best game, but either way, Pulisic finished it, and he did score coming off the bench, which you always like to see from your substitutes. Our two substitutes linking up, which was very nice, in fact. And that was it, guys. That was 4-0. Pulisic also had another funny moment where he went for a bicycle kick, which was really quite an atrocious attempt, but he laughed about it at the end. You saw a lot of smiles on the Chelsea players' faces as they were winning 4-0. And hopefully we can, continue this. Obviously, drawing our last two games 0-0, trying to hold up that defence a bit. Now we're actually adding goals to that. So hopefully this is the right track that we need to progress and become a much more solid but much better attacking team as well. I mean, we'll see when we face Burnley in the Premier League. But that was the game. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the match and the key moments that did occur. Right, getting onto my player ratings. I did make these ratings just after the match finished, and actually looking at them now, I probably could add 0.5 to a lot of these guys' scores. I think I was a bit harsh because, to be fair, most of the game was quite dull. We didn't really make loads of chances until the end of the game. Krasnodar, not the best opposition. Their goalkeeper wasn't great, so maybe some of you will think I've been a bit strict on these teams' rankings, so I wouldn't put it past add another 0.5 to these players' scores if you do so wish. But starting in goal, Edouard Mendy, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. This is his fourth clean sheet in a row. He obviously conceded against Spurs in his debut, but since then, every game he's had, he's kept a clean sheet, and whilst obviously the whole defence deserves credit for that, you've got to say that, the shots that we're conceding, they might not be the best, and Edouard Mendy might not be making absolutely amazing saves, but let's be honest, guys, if Kepa was in goal, he would have conceded goals in those games, and that's just an unfortunate matter of fact for the Spanish goalkeeper. And Mendy really, not only is he bringing the save stopping and the percentage increase, he's also bringing a bit of leadership. He looks confident. You can see him anticipating shots and crosses and collecting crosses. Like I said, it's hard to say whether he's an amazing keeper or just an average keeper, but either way, he's just miles ahead of what Kepa has been for us. So a 7 out of 10 for him. Like I said, if you so wish, could be a 7.5. Going on to the defence, Azpilicueta is going to get a 6.5. It was only in the first half that he was causing most of the problems against Krasnodar, going down the right-hand side. He defended decently as well. Nothing outstanding from him, though, I would say. Obviously, Krasnodar, not the best team going forward, so you didn't necessarily have loads of work to do. But yeah, Aspie's going to get a 6.5. He kept the clean sheet. It was a solid display from him. Will he start against Burnley? I'm not too sure. Maybe we'll see Reece James and Chilwell again on the flanks in the right back and left back position. But Aspie, solid from him, 6.5 out of 10. Antonio Rudiger, I'm going to give a 6. This is why I'm saying I might be being a bit harsh. Probably because he kept the clean sheet, it should be a 6.5. So I'm going to say this, this is the last time I'll say it, probably put everyone's rating up by 0.5. But Rudiger is going to get that score from me. First game back for Chelsea properly this season, professional. Obviously, he's been starting for Germany. Thought it was a fine performance from him. A bit shaky at the start was the Chelsea defence, but to be honest, him and Zuma were a pretty decent partnership last season. I mean, people might have their opinions about Rudiger. I think he's better than Christensen. Would I have preferred to see Tomori play? Obviously, but I mean, I think him and Zuma, a decent combination for us in these types of games, and he had a decent game. Zuma, I'm actually going to give a 7 out of 10. I thought really he stuck out for me in terms of our back line as the one that was really dominating, winning aerials, pinging passes to the flanks as well. I thought he really had a very good performance, making some blocks as well. I just think that really he was stuck in and was really key for us whenever Krasnodar did attack. There was a moment which was scary. It looked like he might have suffered a concussion or an injury where they brought a stretcher out, but he did continue during the game, so that is great to see. An injury to him would not have been great at all, but luckily he's fine. 7 out of 10 for me for Kurt Zuma. Chilwell going to get a 6 out of 10. Like I said, should be 6.5. Didn't really notice him loads in this game. I thought he was fine. Sort of like Rudiger, kept the clean sheet, good job done, nothing outstanding. But yeah, Chilwell, decent performance from him. Going into the pivot in the midfield, Kovacic going to get a 6 out of 10. Just didn't really notice him that much, maybe made a few fouls. I do think that our midfield was getting a bit barraged at the start of the game, but they did grow into it. Yeah, nothing special from Kovacic in this game. So, whilst again solid, just going to be a 6 out of 10. Jorginho's going to get a 6.5. Now, he did obviously miss the penalty. Probably was going up to a 7 if he did score it. But I think defensively he was actually very solid, and you could tell, especially when Krasnodar were crossing balls into the box, he was always there. He was always in a really nice position where he sort of moved back and filled the centre-back holes if Rudiger and Kurt Zuma were drawn out. And I thought it was a really professional performance from Jorginho, minus the penalty miss, obviously. So, yeah, I thought it was decent from him defensively, so he's going to get a 6.5. Kai Havertz, now, this is the one player where I'm thinking maybe he actually deserved a little bit higher, but I've gone for a 6.5. He didn't score a goal, he did get an assist, and I think that he did some great defensive work. He did some slide tackles, he made some interceptions, won some aerials, but he did get dispossessed maybe 2 or 3 times, especially at the beginning, gave away a big chance. So I do think that he needs to maybe just keep it switched on a little bit, but it was still a great performance from him. I did think he was pivotal in our attacking play, especially towards the end. So 6.5, like I said, it's probably harsh, but yeah, that's what I had put for him at the end of the game. Going into the front three, Hudson-Odoi is going to get a 7 now. You could probably argue that in terms of overall play, Havertz was probably better. However, Hudson-Odoi got the pivotal goal. He got the goal that was crucial to us, being in control of the game, being able to bring on the subs, being able to make something happen. And whilst it wasn't the best of goals, he hasn't started regularly this season, and he's going to have to take his chances when they come, and that's what he did. He scored, and it might have not been a great performance from the keeper, but you've got to say Callum Hudson-Odoi, that is a good game from him, and I just think these are the types of games that can hopefully help him grow a bit in confidence, and hopefully we can see him take on his man a little bit more. The only thing that worries me a bit about Callum is that he has a bit of Eden Hazard vibes, and I don't mean as in, that's not obviously a bad thing to a lot of people. Everyone will be like, oh, you're comparing him to Hazard. What I mean is sort of there's times where I feel like he could take on his man but doesn't and just sort of passes it back, because Hazard used to do that. Hazard used to have the habit where he'd score a goal and then he just would be very casual during the game. He'd just, get the ball on the wing and then just pass it back, not take on his man. And I sort of get the vibe from Callum a little bit with that, but maybe that's just me. But I do think he's quality. He did get the goal. He's going to get a 7 out of 10 from me. Ziyech, some people's man of the match. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He got his goal, very nicely taken. Yeah, I just thought it was a good performance, seeing as it was his first start for Chelsea, first start probably this season for any team. And yeah, I thought it was good. Maybe some people think that I'm undervaluing it, but I just think that he was sort of like the entire attack, slow at the start, got better towards the end, and yeah, that's why he gets a 7 from me. Werner as well is going to get a 7. Scored the penalty, wasn't necessarily the most dangerous, but was getting into nice pockets of space. He did get an assist as well for what I believe was the ex-goal. So yeah, decent performance from him. He's getting a 7 out of 10 as well. Going onto the bench, I'm going to be giving Mason Mount a 6.5 out of 10. Thought his energy when he came on was great, really added something. Pulisic a 7 out of 10 because he did get a goal from the bench. Not much more you could ask for. Kante a 6.5 yet again for his energy. Really brought some pace to the game. Emerson 6 out of 10, didn't really have to do much. And Tammy Abraham a 6.5. Got the assist. The energy he brought was great. And yeah, some really good performances from our substitutes when they did come on. I thought they really did well, and I think that the Champions League could be a fun competition for us when we can bring on these types of quality players later on in the game, and they can bring this energy. So I do like what I saw in this game. Obviously not against the strongest of opposition, but still very nice indeed. But if I do get to my player of the season point scoring system, as you guys know, we give players points at the end of every game. We'll tally them up at the end of the season and see who our player of the season should be. I usually give some players 1 point, some 2, some 3, but it was so hard to decide a clear man of the match for me. And there were so many players that just did well in different aspects of keeping the clean sheet, scoring the goals. I'm actually going to give 1 point to 6 different players, and they're going to be Eduardo Mendy, Kurt Zouma, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, and Christian Pulisic. The 4 goal scorers, as well as 2 men who I thought were very solid at the back, being Kurt Zouma and Eduardo Mendy. No one, in my opinion, had a big standout breakthrough performance, so I do think that 1 point to all of them is fair. Maybe you could argue that Havertz deserves a point as well, but just didn't stick out loads for me throughout the bulk of the game, so maybe that's controversial. But either way, guys, those are my points. As you can see on the screen, how the points are adding up, even though there's plenty of time left in the season. I hope you guys did enjoy this review. Like I said, leave your comments down below on what you thought of the game, what positives and negatives you took. I would love to hear. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed as well, and subscribe for more Chelsea FC content, as well as FPL content and FIFA 21 content. Like I said, stay tuned for the next episode of my FIFA 21 West Ham career, which will be out later today. Hope you guys do have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.